And you see my screen, all of you? Not yet?
No.
Let's give it another try. Hope it works now. Okay.
We can see your screen.
Here we go. So, jolly good morning to all of you, and a warm welcome for joining us today. This is the 7th webinar in the framework of our capacity building measures for supporting gender mainstreaming in the women in renewable energy systems, and with a focus on the heating and schooling in specific. According to the registrations, and this would have been really an added value of our webinar today, that several representatives of the MENA regions have signed up for joining us today, and this is not yet the case, but let's hope that they will join during our session. I would also like to mention that several of you have approached us and asked if Elena Obo, Executive Board Member and Innovation Director of Inno Energy and Professor at SAD Business School, would have the opportunity to join. Unfortunately, this was not the case with the date of today, but she has expressed that she will be joining us in one of the remaining webinars. Let me then, after this, in a way, surprising start, go immediately to our agenda, and to allow me to start with some statistics in relation to how inclusive actually energy transition is by the statistics as per today. As you understand, for just 1 second. According to the latest statistics as provided by IRENA in 2018, practically the share of women in STEM, non-STEM, and administrative jobs in the renewable energy sector was, as you can see it, below, and this means that in reality, the next tendency we can see from the survey is really that also in the field of Women in energy represent merely 11% of all founders compared to 20% across all sectors, which means that these two contribute to depriving itself diverse creative ideas that could help to boost the energy transition. Even before COVID started, we could see that the representation of women in the renewable energy sector has substantially increased during the period 2013 to 2018, and reach around 48% in regard to the number of women participating in the renewable energy sectors in less than 5 years. With the COVID period, practically this has rapidly exploded. So the new statistics will be providing most probably considerable further increase of the number of women entering the energy sector. So this is in fact the atmosphere in which we carry out today's webinar, and I will just like to check once again what is happening in regard to our second keynote speaker, but unfortunately she has still not joined. So I would say that unfortunately, I don't know what happened to Sana Hichami. She is a regional investment advisor to the Power Africa program, and a senior advisor for the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change. And I am really very, very sorry that she has decided or has not been able to join us as promised latest this morning. But we move on, and I would like to say a very warm welcome to Dora Maroshwelji. Dora is founder and CEO of Dare Innovations and EIT strategic partner and mentor. And she's also a co-creator of Jumpstarter. Dora, I would like, you know, you are very very experienced in handling unexpected situations. I must say and apologize from all of you that I have really some issues around handling the situation we are in today, but let's start in medias res. So I would like to say that Dora is one of the people who has from very young age on sincere as desire and passion to support women in technology in general, and women in renewable energy systems, and women as innovators and entrepreneurs. So please help me out, and let's start with your personal story. And if you could share with us how you had this sincere desire to support women in their innovation and entrepreneurship.
Thank you, Eva, and good morning, everyone. I'm super happy to be here with you today. And at any point, if you have any questions to me, then feel free to just jump in or write in the chat. Let me start with why am I here today and talking to you, who am I? So I've spent the last couple of years, 6 at the EIT, which is the European Institute for Innovation and Technology. And I was here leading a program for, if I can say, if I can put it in this way, for those regions of Europe which are a little bit underdogs. So basically these emerging European regions who we said have the talent, have the potential, but somehow the research results don't get to the market. So we created a program to support those researchers who would like to start their business and commercialize the research results. It is called EIT Jumpstarter. So within the Jumpstarter, we worked with many researchers from various fields, including energy as well. So EIT InnoEnergy was mentioned previously, is also part of the Jumpstarter. Therefore, we were supporting, or we are still supporting, scientists coming from the energy field. Me, myself, I was supporting, and I am still supporting. It's a bit still hard to make this change in my mind, but I'm still supporting scientists from the health tech field. So basically, the main focus is deep tech, science-based innovation, and teaching them fundamental entrepreneurial skills, and also connecting them with the industrial partners to validate the need for their research and get potential partners on board. And if all stars align, the team is committed, then they get help to run or start their startup. And I also got inspired during the process. So I'm also a spin-off from the EIT, and I started my company in January. So since January, I'm also in the shoes of an entrepreneur, and I feel like a 3-month-old baby, but very excited about the process still. And what I could also see is that this a leap of faith, when you decide that, okay, I'm committed to my company and to run my own startup business, it is very scary. And it is indeed emotional to leave something which was stable behind and well, jump into the unknown. And I think that this is one of the things that women funders, and not just women funders, all funders need encouragement, but women funders especially. When I was preparing for this meeting today, I was also researching some data about what is the behavior of women funders, the risk-taking attitude and appetite. And I found a very interesting research done by American scholars, which said, so they used neuroscience research to underpin this research result. They were measuring the brainwaves of a set of women and men who were posed or asked to do some specific task which measured the risk-taking appetite. And at the end of the result, or at the end of the research, the result was that women are a bit, when it comes to stress, then their risk-taking appetite decreases during the stressful period, and whereas the men, their risk-taking appetite increases. So basically, the research results showed that the most efficient are the teams which are diverse to work out a strategy which is also the best in terms of it has the risk-taking appetite, but also it has some counterbalances when it comes to mitigating the risks. And that was also my observation during the teams that I've mentored in the past couple of years. We've seen more than hundreds of funders each year. And I have to say that the full women-led teams in the program were quite low, but the mixed teams comprised of women and men, they were quite balanced. So of course, from year to year, the ratio changed, but we had around half and half ratio. And these teams, they also excelled. Maybe I'm jumping between the topics, so please stop me if you feel that I need to go back.
Okay, thank you for sharing this, and I would like to say that as you have such a high number of projects and startups that you have assisted through the years, obviously you should have several examples or favorites which you could maybe also share with us in this context of our webinar. So would you mind giving some details about one or two of your favorite projects?
Indeed, I was looking for some projects which are connected to this audience today. And 2 years ago, we also introduced the new European Bauhaus category for the program. So these, in this category, we were looking for ideas who were helping cities and to be more sustainable, and also urban living with the help of design and technological solutions. And there was one very, very interesting company, which is called back then Climate Hood, but then they renamed themselves to Cool Co, which stands for cooling corners in cities. So this idea was developed by 3 young architects from Hungary, all are women. And basically it is a modular designed corners, which could be also, which are used to prevent the heat waves. So these are modular designed small like how to say, small modules that like Lego blocks, if you like giant Lego blocks, if you would like to imagine them. And also, so they have 3 functions. You can sit and like play around with these blocks. Also, they have a small well built-in, and also they are capable to hold some plants. And therefore, these modules could be built up onto each other as the public space allows, and also in consultation with the citizens, of course, and basically colored. And the shape is it could be also designed as per the need of the public space. And basically, this was the idea for the design of these corners. And the team got very successful, and they also won a new European Bauhaus Award, which is an award of excellence initiated by the European Commission. And we all were really proud of the team, because they were like not only women founders, all of them, but also very committed to make this happen. And this is something that an idea in itself, it's good if they have, but also the team needs to stand behind the idea, and a committed team is needed to make it happen. And basically now they would like to make pilots in Budapest city. So we are all very much rooting for them and their success.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there maybe another example you will take, or
yeah, something which are a bit more advanced, but comes from the biotech field. There was a company which was back then a team when I mentored them, and they created a library of diseases. That was the idea. They are called ILOF. And one of the co-founders was a woman, Joanna, and the other, Luis. Both are like biomedical engineers. And we worked together in the program. They had this idea, and we created a business model around the idea. Also, what could be their potential competition, what could be their value proposition, who would be their main potential clients, and also the collaborators. And then after the program, or as the result of the program and our work together, they created their company. And then he also supported them in making the next steps. That they continued in the accelerator program of EIT Health, and some other programs locally in Portugal. They are a company based in Portugal. And they managed to raise very recently around 5 million euros, which makes them capable, or made them capable of growing the company, but also passing the necessary clinical tests. So basically, what I mentioned about the commitment and the team, it is very, very important, because the life cycle of the deep tech company, be it from the biotech field or coming from the energy raw materials, and those that are science-based, they are rather longer than the normal startup company's life cycle. Typically, they have a need, a real life need for the innovation. So either they solve a societal challenge or an industry challenge. So typically they have their customers already in mind when they have the solution developed. However, they need to pass trials. They need to pass through like different technical readiness like tests, and their risks are mainly technology risks and not market risks. And therefore, the commitment of the team and also the support that they receive, that they know where to look for support. And these professional mentoring programs and accelerators, and early on, if they can get in touch with the industry as much as possible, either through the university that they are developing their solution, or through the research organization, or through international networks like your network or like the EIT's network, it supports them to get the right connections to mitigate these risks.
Thank you, Dora, for this. I would actually like to invite Roman Alvasiak to our discussion because I thought I would share with you a good example today, which relates to one of the projects that have been approved in the framework of the W4RES second call for supported actions that we are running now. And as it turned out, after some initial discussions with the solution which our Polish partner is looking for in regard to biomass production, we have identified project that actually is not just initiated and run by Spanish female inventor, Dr. Maria Luisa Hernandez Latorre, but it is also one of the biggest success stories in regard to supporting women's innovation and innovative startup and entrepreneurship in the biomass sector. So, Roman, I thought if you would share a few ideas around how you started to look for a partner, which in the end will be hopefully Ingelia, then I could share some of the ideas behind the hydrothermal carbonization technology that is adopted at industrial scale based on the developments and the innovation of Dr. Latorre.
Okay, so thank you very much for inviting me for this meeting. So in principle, the idea come out that two ladies, my wife and her colleague from our neighborhood, they discussed that there is a lot of biomass waste, which is a waste. It is treated as a waste, and the cost of collection and transformation into some bio compost is huge. So due to the invasion, Russian invasion, they thought that okay, the prices of the fuel is so high, so maybe it is a high time to use this unused resources as a fuel. So as I had some experience in gardening maintenance, so there is a huge, really huge amount of biomass which is unused currently, and also the green area in many occasions may be treated in the city of Gdańsk as a source of the biomass. Now there are a huge cost of maintenance of those green areas, but if we take them not only as a place of where the beautiful flowers grow, but also the source of biomass, it may be also a good opportunity to increase the biomass production in the city. So in principle, we are looking based on the, let's say, our local experience to engage local communities, that we can join our effort to produce this biomass, to collect them, and to make people aware that from their small even gardens that they are able to produce some biofuel and minimize the impact of the CO2 production. Now we are initial stage. We are developing our concept how to organize from the legal perspective and how to make this entire process sustainable, in the means that it would not bring losses, but it would bring benefits. We would like to base our collection system on the mobile application, that we can order transportation and transformation of the biomass. And we would like to make some actions that, for example, for this or the other period of time, we will collect the biomass from this or the other district, so that we optimize the cost of transportation and transformation. So we are still in the initial stage. We are searching for the best solution from the perspective of the transformation to make it the less impact possible for the neighborhoods, as we are in the big cities. So not necessarily we need to minimize the space needed for this facility, as well this impact for the city. In Poland, lately we had a big discussion about biogas farm somewhere in the south part of Poland. That there were huge protests that it is not ecological, that it will have a very bad impact for the local community. So this is mostly those are elements which we are considering. So if you have any question, please let me know that I can answer.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And actually, I feel that this can be the opportunity also to stop for a moment and ask all of you who are in the call if you would have any other good examples that you would like to share with us, or raise a question to our presenter, Dora. If we don't have any hands raised, then I propose that we move on. Actually, our other keynote presenter had her strongest priority for wanting to present her not just experience, but really long-standing work in relation to the Tony Blair Research Institute, was the finance sector, and the ideas that we discussed that she would have liked to raise and invite to partners for further discussion is related to a large-scale program that is called the Desert to Power program, initiated by USAID on finalization and authorization of national and regional roadmaps in the Sahel countries. I mean, the coastal countries from the Atlantic to the Red Sea, as they will be investing 400 billion USD on fighting climate change and energy transition until 2030. And in this context, in the end of October, there will be a conference in Morocco, to which we formally will receive an invitation to not just participating in the conference, but also presenting some innovative ideas for contributing to the energy transformation solutions of the region. As we I strongly believe that through all the projects, Dora, that you have run in connection with the EIT Jumpstart program, I feel that there have been a lot of experiences gained on your end, also in regard to women's out-of-the-box thinking in relation to the financial aspects of solving renewable energy system solutions. Is there anything you would like to add to this area of our discussion?
Well, maybe a bit broader context about getting funded and how a startup could get funded, if I may.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, because this is where I have the most experience with. It's that, as mentioned, I was working with emerging European funders or funders coming from this region. And basically, here, we could see like two trends. One of the trends I briefly touched upon is that we have the brain, but and they are working on very, very innovative research solutions, but these are solutions they don't get to the market very often. And part of the problem could be the financing. At least they say that it is the problem. However, I would rather formulate it. The problem is that it's a little bit with the attitude that the access to funding, it's what is hard for them, so that they lack that skills to pitch for funding, and also the mindset that they can get into the best programs in Europe or even beyond. So in like our part of Europe, I could also like see in the funders a bit of issues with their self-esteem, that they did not believe that they are good enough to get the same opportunities to get into the programs that, for example, their peers coming from the western part of Europe could get into. although they had the knowledge. This skills-wise, what I meant by they lacked the proper pitching skills is that they needed some mentoring on how to formulate their technology in a way that it is understandable for investors as well. When it comes to funding itself, it is available in the region. And if I can be a little bit critical, it's that funding for early stage it's available. It is done through, and by early stage, I mean pre-seed seed. So the very first 50,000 euros that makes them still develop their solution and test, and they are not yet on the market. And basically, they are moderately easy to get, I would say, because they are mainly coming from the EU and dispersed through local organization, private-public organizations. They are either grants or smaller private investments. If private, then typically they come from business angels or institutional VCs, venture capitals. But these institutional VCs, they also use EU funding. Therefore, they have the KPIs to finance a set of amount of companies. And basically, they need to fulfill these KPIs. So sometimes they also fund startup companies that are not the most innovative, or that they are presenting something novel for the home market, but when they step out of the home market, they are not competitive enough because they have there are other competitors in the European scene that are like better placed than they are, more advanced, they have access to more funding, and it could be also a problem, especially in my country, in Hungary. I can see it because startups, Hungarian market is small, so startups need to look out for regional market from day one. And basically here, the problem is that that they have the funding, the first round of funding, quite easily. And I could see that they were not as, the startup companies were not as innovative as if they would come from the Baltics or Poland or Portugal.
And if we look for reasons or weak points when you say not as innovative, can you make some reflections maybe on why this is and how the weaknesses could be overcome?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I saw also a little bit of discrepancy between the science-based, the deep tech startups, and between the digital startups. So the science-based startup teams coming from Hungary, they need more encouragement to have this mindset change that yes, there is a chance you can still be a successful startup born in Hungary and reaching other markets. So the researchers I've met, they rather wanted to focus on the research itself, and they did not believe that a startup could be their good way forward or their good next step. And how we try to solve this issue is by mentoring and putting some like role model similar examples for them. It is also important, a note to make here, that not everyone is a good fit to become an entrepreneur. So if there is a researcher who says that I'm more comfortable within the lab, I want to do my research, this is where I see myself in 10 years, this is my main passion, then the lab is the right place for them to be. So they do not need, not everyone needs to be an entrepreneur, but if they want still the research to come out of the lab, then they also have the chance to participate programs where they could meet entrepreneurial co-founders, for example, who could then take the startup forward as the chief executive officer of the company, and the ID owner, the researcher, could stay as a researcher, as a chief technological officer for the company, for example. So these are for the technology companies. And in Hungary, we have also quite a number of digital companies as well, which I briefly touched upon. They have a bit quicker time to market. So, and they are also more easy to implement, more easy to make a minimum viable product, a prototype to test, and launch on the market. And it is quicker, it is more easy to understand from the investor's point of view as well. Therefore, those who go for the KPIs, more startups or a set amount of startups per year to finance, it is easier to finance these companies or support these companies. But also, like, many of them offer marketplaces which are not very innovative, or like telemedicine solutions. Yeah.
Thank you, Dora. I think this is really one of the most fascinating and most crucial areas of supporting the innovation process of women in renewable energy systems. I would also like to say that this is an area which also very closely relates to the next block that I would have liked us to briefly touch upon in our webinar, and this is closely related to the importance of role models and mentoring, where you again are a very passionate mentor with long-standing experiences from your accelerator programs. And when we talk about this block, then I would say that there are some keywords that you have touched upon, but maybe you have still some additional comments to make, and that is the need for change of the mindset and network building, and the question of mentor-mentee relationship making a difference, and the importance of identifying role models.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so first of all, I would start with the role models. So what is my experience is that someone who is very distant, it's very hard to connect to. On the other hand, like identifying good cases, good examples, which come from very close or the same country or the same background, similar background, it is helpful in this mindset change part to help the researchers believe that indeed startup could be a viable road for them. I also mentioned that not everyone is good fit for a startup funder, to them as well, so that they know. But actually, selecting a good role model, it's very important. So Michelle Obama, for example, It's very nice. We know we can connect to her. However, she's a bit distant. I think that is important that someone is close and why she is a good role model is understandable for the team is a mentor. And also it's better if she or he comes from the community that the startup is in, and then they can reach out to her directly as well with the different questions they have. It is also important, and now I'm turning to the mentoring part, that first of all, the mentor should have, of course, credibility and vast knowledge and experience in the field that they are supporting the startup with. If not, which could be the case that, for example, there is a technology which we thought would be a health technology, but there is an application in the energy field, for example. So that I'm also connecting the team to a mentor I know from the energy field. And then they can also run some mentoring sessions with them to see which use case would be better for the technology. I'm just dropping now some examples, but these are real examples that happened to me, that I needed to direct some teams to other field experts. And I think this is also important, that you know that what you are good at and what are the core skills and competencies you can have the team with. And if something goes beyond, then you have the network to mobilize and connect the team with good mentors as well. And in the mentoring process, what is very, very important for me is to understand the team motivation, because the team is what makes or breaks the startup. So as mentioned, the idea is good, but the team will make it happen. And if the team is not committed, or I can see that that the funders don't commit enough time and attention to the startup, they have like other issues. They are still doing their PhD, which is good, but also then they need to be, they need to understand that if they are like doing other things, that the attention span will be diluted, and then the startup would have like would need even more time to market, and could die if the funders don't pay enough attention to the startup. And it is also something that the funders need to be knowledgeable and understanding that what are their vision for the startup, what do they want to achieve, what are their motivation in doing this startup. So do they want to make money? Do they want to be famous in the industry, or what is their motivation which keeps them going? Because this motivation, we can build on that during the hard times. And doing the startup is an emotional roller coaster. So there will be times when they need strong motivation to keep on going. And also the mentor's role is support them. I mean, this is my mentoring, type, that I'm also supporting them emotionally when there are some hard times, to make them go through the hard times, or sometimes asking them the hard question, which could make them stop and think if they really want to do this or not. So I'm not saying that, guys, maybe you should stop, but I'm asking questions based on which they can decide that how to move forward.
Thank you. I think here again you have given us very many hands-on advice, and it is really radiated through whatever you share with us, that we have very broad experiences from all aspects of the problems that women can be facing throughout the entire innovation and implementation process. So I really would like to say a very warm thanks to you. And I would like to ask once again our participants if they have any questions to you. If not, then warm thanks, Dora, for being with us. I would like to say to all of you who have been involved in the webinar today that we have 3 more webinars ahead of us in March, April, and May. And the
Sorry.
next.
Sorry. Hello everyone. I am Lorenzo Giannetti from APRE. We work on communication and dissemination in WERS project. And I want to share with you a short survey on Slido to collect some information about the webinars and the work we are doing. If it's okay, I want to share this link in the chat. Okay. If you can complete this survey, is 5 minutes of questions. Thank you.
Please proceed. Actually, I was going to hand over to you, but proceed as you mentioned, and let's move ahead then to the final part of our webinar for today.
Sorry, Eva, can I just have 3 minutes also, if possible? My name is Alina. As I was saying in the chat, I just wanted to tell a bit more about our group, which is very related with what you're doing, I guess. Also, so we created a small group of women working with concentrated solar power at the Solar Basis conference. And now we are starting this website, we're starting this group. So just to share with you this news, what we had this website with a database of experts, for example. So wherever you would need to have an expert or speaker, female speaker about the concentrated solar power, you can go to the website and then see all the experts that we have. So like that, we try to promote women who work with concentrated solar power, to have more women in the plenary sections, especially for the conferences. So this is a small announcement. Sorry for interruption. And thank you very much for Dora also, and for Eva for such a great work. And it's nice to see what there are so many things happening for women in the renewables.
No, all announcements and all information shared within the webinars are, of course, of great added value for all of us. And Personally, I would just wish that within the webinars we would be more interactive, but this is something that participants either have the generosity to share or they don't. But I think we are improving by every event, and I therefore very much look forward to the remaining 3 sessions. But please let's join in then also for the final evaluation and the Slido. So are you going to run through the questions, or what is the next step? Because the information we received was that you will be administering this last part of the program.
I have only to share this survey, and I don't have any instruction about other contributions.
But in all, for example, the latest session we had, the 6th webinar, we went through the questions facilitated by you. So, and also the email that I have from Miriam says that this large part of the webinar will be run by you. So I don't have any instructions or any materials shared with the CWT in this respect.
Okay, this survey is about the collection of some informations about these webinars, and the work W4RES is doing during the overall the lifespan of the project. Basically, there are 9 questions about the tools and info we can collect to help to empower the communication and support of gender balance in RHC industries, or something about the best practices in each country that have been used to improve the situation of women in this field. And basically it is a way to collect both informations from participants with their specificities, and even suggestions on how we can improve what we are doing and what the RHC market can do to support women.
Lorenzo, I mean, this we know. Once again, if you don't have anything more to add or to share with us or run through the survey, then I think we have come to the end of our webinar, and I thank you all for having the patience with all the unprecedented events happening this time. And I deeply appreciate your support and help. And let's meet then 22nd of March in webinar number 8. Thank you for all. Thank you for today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.